very good evening and welcome to Primetime News on TV Bond for the Newsfirst, where the people come first. I'm Martin Satyanesan.
And I'm Thiruni Karunaratna. Here are our headlines for tonight.
The headlines on Newsfirst.
Large crowds gather at Nugegoda residence of the late Dr. Nanda Malini to pay final respects. Final rites of the late Venerable Rambukana Siddhartha Thero held today. Namal Rajapaksa gives 5-hour statement to FCID over investigation into purchase of Tangol Bay Hotel. A commission will be appointed under a future SLPP government to investigate costs incurred on ongoing criminal investigation, a statement from Johnston Fernando. Parliament approves 7.5 billion rupees in supplementary estimates to purchase Paddy. Bar Association should not become a political tool, says People's Tomorrow organization.
The legendary voice of Sri Lankan music, the late Dr. Nanda Malini, continues to receive an outpouring of love and respect, with large numbers of people arriving to pay their final respects. Her remains have been placed for public viewing at the Nanda Malini Music Academy on Vijayaba Mawatha in Nugegoda.
The final rites are scheduled to be held tomorrow at 5 p.m. at the Boralla Public Cemetery. Dr. Nanda Malini was 82 years old at the time of her passing. Meanwhile, the government declared today, tomorrow and the day after as National Days of Mourning due to the passing of the veteran vocalist.
The mortal remains of the late Dr. Nanda Malini were brought to the Nanda Malini Music Academy on Vijayaba Mawatha in Nugegoda this morning. The public was given the opportunity to pay their final respects from 10 a.m. today. A large number of artists, politicians, fans and members of the public have already been arriving to pay their final respects to the legendary singer. President Andrukumara Dissanayake also paid his final respects to Dr. Nanda Malini this afternoon.
නන්දා මාලිනී මැතිණියගේ කටහඬට පණ්ඩිත් අමරදේව සර් කිව්වේ යශෝරාවය කියන එක. මං හිතන්නේ ඇය විශිෂ්ට ගායිකාවක් වනවා වගේම ඇය යුගයේ අවශ්‍යතාවයන් පිරිමහපු ගායිකාවක්. මේ ලෝකයේ පවතිනතුරු ඇයගේ කටහඬ අමරණීයයි.
මලක්සේ පිබිදිලා සුවඳදී ලස්සනට පරවෙනවා කියන එක ඇගේ ජීවිතෙන් අපිට දකින්න පුළුවන්. කියන්න මට වචන නෑ මිස් ගැන. මිස් ඒ තරම් දේවල් අපිට ජීවිතේ එකතු කරලා දීලා තියෙනවා. ඒ හඬ කවදාවත් ඇහෙන්නේ නැති හඬක්.
කලාකාරිනියක් විදිහට මේ රටට ඇගෙන් ඉටුවිය යුතු සියලුම යුතුයකම් ඉටු කරලා ණය නැති කලාකාරිනියක් විදිහට තමයි අද ඇය සමුගන්නේ. අහසසේ ඔබ අනන්තයි, පොළවසේ ඔබ අනන්තයි. මේ විශ්වයේ මා දකින්නේ ඔබම පමණයි. ඒ නන්දක්ක විතරමයි. ඇයට නිවන් සුවය මම ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා.
ගැහැණියෙකුට පිහිටි කලාතුරකින් පිහිටන මහා විශාල කොඳු නාරටියක් කියලා තමයි මම දකින්නේ.
මම වඩාම ඇයට කැමති අපේ ඇඟ තුල තියෙන දේශපාලන චරිතය එය මාර විදිහට අවදි කරා. මේ තාරුණ්‍යයේ දේශපාලනය කියන දැන් තාරුණ්‍ය ජවය කියන එක කලාකාරණයක් විදිහට ඉතාම විශිෂ්ට ලෙස ජනගත කර ඇයි.
එම ගායන ශිල්පිනියක් ආයි අපිට පහළ වෙයි කියලා හිතන්න බෑ. ඒ හිදස පුරවන්න කිසිම පේන තෙක් මානක ගායන ශිල්පිනියක් නැහැ.
හැම තීරණයක්ම ගන්න පුළුවන් විදිහේ ශක්තිමත් ගැහණියක් නන්දා මාලිනී කියන්නේ. මම හිතන්නේ ගැහණියකට හොඳ ආදර්ශයක් වෙන ගැහණියක් තමයි නන්දා මාලිනී. ඇගේ අගය ගැන ඇය ගැන මට ඇත්තටම දැන් තමයි හරියටම දැනෙන්නේ. මොකද හේතුව මේ මිනිස්සු කන්දරාව. එහෙම ආදරය කරන්න ඇයි කොයිතරම් දේවල් මේ රටට දීලා තියෙනවද?
අම්මා කෙනෙකුගේ සෙනෙහසත් නිවහල් ගැහණියකගේ ඍජු ගතිගුණත් මා එතුමියගෙන් එදා දැක්කා. කලා ලෝකයේ මට උපත දුන් මෑණියන් වගේම ගීත රචනා ලෝකයේ මට උපත දුන් මෑණියන් වශයෙන් මා කළ සියලු පින් අනුමෝදන් කරනවා මේ උත්තමාවන්ට.
ඒකේ අභාවය අපේ ජාතියටම වෙච්ච මහා පාඩුවක්. ඒක පරිමහන්න පුළුවන් පාඩුවක් නෙවෙයි.
මේ මොහොත භෞතිකව අපෙන් නික්ම යන මොහොත. නමුත් ඈ පෙනී සිටි ඈ විශ්වාස කළ ඈ බලාපොරොත්තු වූ ලෝකය ගොඩනැගීමෙන් තිබෙනවා. එතනට අපි ඇවිත් තිබෙනවා. ඒ නිසා ඈ තෘප්තියෙන් සිටි බව මා දන්නවා.
මට කියන්න වචනත් නෑ. ඇත්තටම අපි හැමෝටම ලොකු පාඩුවක්. මුළු රටක්ම ශෝක වන දවසක්.
එතුමගේ ජීවිතය සහ එතුමගේ දර්ශනය, ගීත සහ එතුමගේ සාහිත්‍ය කලාව විශේෂයෙන්ම නව පරපුර උගත යුතුයි. නව පරපුරට විශාල ආදර්ශයක්.
මම නන්දා මාලිනී ඇන්ටිට වැඩියෙන්ම ආකර්ෂණය වුණේ ඒ ගීත තුල අන්තර්ගත වුණු ජනතාවට දැනෙන ජනතාවගේ හදගැස්ම ඉදිරිපත් වෙන මහා දැවැන්ත සංකල්ප එතුමියගේ ගීත තුල තිබුණා. ඉතාමත්ම ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨ අන්දමින් රටේ ජනතාවගේ ජනදුක කියාපෑවා.
නන්දා මාලිනී කියලා කියන්නේ සංස්කෘතියක්. නන්දා මාලිනී කියලා කියන්නේ ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ අම්මා උපනුපන් පරපුර වෙනුවෙන් තමන්ගේ හඬ නොබියව අවදි කරා කියලා එතුමිය ගැන කියන්න අපේ වචන පොහොසත් මදි.
ප්‍රතිපත්ති ගරුකයි. ඒ ප්‍රතිපත්ති මතයි ජීවත් වුණා. ඒ ප්‍රතිපත්ති අමාරුම අවස්ථාවලත් ඇරැක්කා. අනිත් පැත්තෙන් ගත්තොත් නන්දා මාලිනීගේ ජීවිතයේ වැඩි කාලයක් අපි දකින්නේ අලුත් ලෝකයක් පිළිබඳව විශ්වාස කරා. අලුත් ලෝකයක් පිළිබඳව ගීත ගායනා කළා. අපි හිතනට සතුටක් තියෙන්න ඕන. මොකද ඒ ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරපු ලෝකයේ ගොඩනගෙන පටන් ගන්න තියෙනවා.
Her music, she's used the art for the purpose of the people she loved, the people who made her a singer, and she used her voice for their rights. She created a voice for the voiceless.
She's one of the representative of the Sri Lankan voice. Actually, the mother of Sri Lanka, and her voice and her encouragement of the youth, how we can become a great Sri Lankan and how we can live together as Sri Lankan nation.
ප්‍රේමී නම් කිමයි ඔබ මට කියා දුන්නේ. දැන් මගේ පරමාර්ථය ඔබය. මගේ පරමාදර්ශය ඔබය. මගේ ඒකායන ප්‍රාර්ථනයද ඔබය.
Dr. Nanda Malini, who made an unparalleled contribution to expanding the horizons of Sri Lanka's refined musical tradition, was born on the 23rd of August 1943 in Lebandua, Alutgama. Growing up amid hardship in Kasettivatta in Kotahena, she received her education at Kotahena Gunananda Vidyalaya. From a young age, Nanda displayed an exceptional talent for singing. With the guidance of her teachers, she entered the children's program of the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation and making her mark in the history of Sri Lankan cinema. For Ranmuthuduwa, Sri Lanka's first colour film, she recorded the song Galanagangagi Jeevite to music composed by Pandit W.D. Amaradeva, performing alongside the then popular singer Narada Tisasekara. Winning the award for Best Female Singer at the inaugural Sirasa Awards in 1964 for that song marked a major turning point in her artistic career. Dr. Nanda Malini went on to enter the record books as the female singer who won the highest number of Sirasa and presidential awards for Best Female Playback Singing in Sri Lankan cinema. The collection of songs she performed for radio remains an unforgettable part of the hearts and memories of generations of Sri Lankan listeners. At times, Nanda Malini sang about the many dimensions of love. At other times, she gave voice to oppressed and suffering people and fearlessly spoke out through music against the cruelty and repression of those in power. She consistently stood for social justice, equality and fairness. Through the Satyaye Sangeetaya concert, she gave musical expression to the many facets of love, while through the Pavana concert, she fearlessly raised her voice against political repression. Albums and song collections including Perada Mahare, Pahan Kanta, Satyaye Geetaya, Pavana, Hemantayedi, Taruka S, Sindhu Hodiya, Kinduriyakage Vilapaya, Madhubandun, Handahami, Sanka Padma, Pembara Lanka, Gramophone Gee, Araliya Landata and Nilambare were among the many musical gifts she bestowed upon the Sri Lankan public. Throughout her career, she received numerous awards recognizing her contribution as one of the country's most popular and accomplished female vocalists. She lent her voice to the works of many of Sri Lanka's finest lyricists and composers. Her musical collaboration with Professor Sunil Aryaratna produced a remarkable collection of songs that occupies a special place in the history of Sri Lankan music. The collection of songs Dr. Nanda Malini created for Sri Lanka's children is another part of a legacy that can never be forgotten. Dr. Nanda Malini also maintained a close association with the Maharaja Media Network and worked closely with the organization on numerous occasions. One of the tributes presented to her by Sirasa FM was the solo music concert, Shwetaratriya. The concert was embraced with immense love and affection by audiences across the country. In 2020, Dr. Nanda Malini was honoured with the Divya Nagana Vanitha Award, a lifetime honour presented only once in a woman's lifetime at the Sri Lanka Vanitha Abhimana Awards organised with the empowerment of Newsfirst and NDB. In 2024, Dr. Nanda Malini was once again honoured, this time at the Voice Kids Sri Lanka Grand Finale, in recognition of her immense contribution to Sri Lankan music.
For generations of Sri Lankans, her voice was more than music. It was part of the nation. Today, Sri Lanka mourns the passing of veteran vocalist Visharada Dr. Nanda Malini, who passed away yesterday at the age of 82. Fans, fellow artists, friends, and public have gathered here today to bid farewell to this national treasure.
The passing of Dr. Nanda Malini, who won the hearts of generations of Sri Lankans with her distinctive vocal style, is an immeasurable loss not only to the country's music industry, but also to millions of her devoted admirers. The immortal voice that nurtured generations through the song of our motherland, Dr. Nanda Malini, may you attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. A minute's silence was also observed in Parliament in memory of the late veteran singer Visharada Dr. Nanda Malini.
ඊයේ දිනය තුල අපේ ආචාර්ය නන්දා මාලිනී මහත්මිය අභාවයට පත් වුණා. මම යෝජනා කරනවා පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ එතුමියට ගෞරවයක් ලෙස මිනිත්තුවක නිශ්ශබ්දතාවය අපි සියලු දෙනාම ප්‍රකාශ කරමු කියලා.
Following this, Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasooriya delivered the vote of condolence.
එතුමිය කිසිවිටකත් සමාජයෙන් වෙන් වූ කලාකාරිනියක් නොවූවාය.
She was never an artist disconnected from society. Without remaining silent in the face of injustice, she fearlessly raised her voice for peace and coexistence, as well as for humanity and social justice. Through creative interventions such as Pavana and Satyayag, she showed us that an artist's voice can speak for the pain of society and that a song can awaken sensitivity within humanity while building hope for a better world. Her voice continued to be heard not merely as a song, but as a courageous voice raised for justice, peace, humanity, and love for this land. I offer my respect and love to Dr. Nanda Malini, who gave a voice to many memories in our lives, was embraced with love by generations, and marked an immortal chapter in Sri Lankan song art. I wish her the eternal peace of Nirvana. I express my deepest sympathy to her two daughters, all members of her family, and the entire Sri Lankan populace who loved her and her voice.
The
leader of the opposition also expressed condolences over the passing of Dr. Nanda Malini, and numerous members of parliament expressed their condolences throughout the day.
The final rites of the late Venerable Rambukana Siddhartha Theru, a veteran lyricist, were held this evening.
The rites were conducted following the remains of the revered Thero being placed at the Sudharma Ramaya temple in Vellavatta, where the public was given the opportunity to pay their final respects.
A large crowd arrived at the Sudharma Rame temple in Vellavatta today to pay their final respects to the late Venerable Rambukana Siddhartha Thera. This evening, the remains were taken in a funeral procession to the Dehiwala Saranankara grounds where the cremation ceremony was held.
He protected our sense of community. He was with us at our alms giving and at our funerals. That was his style of preaching. He made such profound use of the art of music. This is how Venerable Rambukana Siddhartha Thera rendered his noble service to this country, to the Buddha Sasana and to our nation. We all know that it was Venerable Rambukana Siddhartha Thera who brought profound teachings of the Dhamma into the field of Sinhala music in simple language. There is no other monk who has expressed compassion, kindness and the impermanence of human life through the art of song quite as profoundly as he did. I believe that is precisely why he will remain an endearing symbol of the Buddhist devotional song culture.
උන්වහන්සේ යතිවර ගීසලකුණ වන්නේ අන්න ඒ නිසාමයි කියලා මට හැඟෙනවා.
සමාජයේ සුවපත් කළ හැකි පූජ්‍ය රම්බුකන සිද්ධාර්ථ හිමියන් වැනි
The passing of Venerable Rambukana Siddhartha Thera is an irreplaceable loss to the Buddha Sasana, the country and Sri Lanka's song, literature and arts at a time when the presence of venerable monks such as him who could help heal society was most needed. I pray that the late Venerable Rambukana Siddhartha Thera attains the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Anurukumara Disanayaka, President of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, 20th August 2026.
අනුරකුමාර දිසානායක ජනාධිපති ශ්‍රී ලංකා ප්‍රජාතාන්ත්‍රික සමාජවාදී ජනරජය 2026 අගෝස්තු 20 වන දින.
Venerable Rambukana Siddhartha Thera passed away on the afternoon of the 18th of August while receiving treatment at the Sri Jayawardhanapura General Hospital. He was 76 years old. Venerable Rambukana Siddhartha Thera, may you attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana.
Former Minister Johnston Fernando says that a commission will be appointed under a future SLPP government to look into expenses incurred for the ongoing criminal investigation processes. He made these remarks today while accompanying Namal Rajapaksa to provide a statement after being summoned in connection with an investigation conducted by the police Financial Crimes Investigation Division.
ආණ්ඩුවට වැටෙනවා. අධිචෝදනා ගේනේවා කට උත්තර ගන්නේවා මේවා අලුත් දේවල් නෙමෙයි. මේවට ඉතින් වේදම් කරන සල්ලි හොයන්න වෙනම කොමිසමක් දාන්න. ආම දානවා. මේ පාරෙන් මේ පාර හැම දෙයක් ගැනම හොයන්න ඕනේ. මේ කරන අපරාධ වලට ඉඩ තියන්න හොඳ නැහැ මින් පස්සේ. අනිවාර්යෙන් හොයන්න ඕනේ. ඊ පාර හෙව්වේ නැහැනේ. ඩෝඩා මහත්තයා නිකන් හිටියේ. අනිවාර්යෙන් හොයන්න.
The Police Financial Crimes Investigations Division, or FCID, interrogated Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna National Organiser and Member of Parliament Namal Rajapaksa and recorded his statement for nearly 5 hours. Police stated that the summons were issued by the FCID in connection with an ongoing investigation into the purchase of the Tangol Bay Hotel using funds obtained from the channel CSN. I was asked to come today regarding a hotel in Tangol. When a gentleman bought the hotel and couldn't explain how he acquired it, they claim it belongs to Namal Rajapaksa. A gentleman claims his hotel is not his, and now it has become mine. So I said, if that hotel is mine and if that gentleman's house in Colombo 7 is also mine, then since the unauthorized constructions of this hotel are now being demolished, they can give that land to those people to open restaurants, right? According to this gentleman, if it's not his either, and if the gentleman in Colombo 7 has a house and that house is also Namal's,
then the best thing is to give it to the students of the University of the Visual and Performing Arts, because there is an issue with facilities. So this is completely false. These institutions are being used today to waste the public funds of this country and fulfill the political needs of various governments.
What is this investigation? A transaction exceeding 150 million rupees. A long-term investigation regarding the purchase of shares in the well-known Tangol Bay Hotel by individuals and institutions associated with the CSN channel during the period from 2011 to 2012. Doubts regarding how the funds and the sources for the transaction were raised from the very beginning. An FCID investigation commenced following the 2015 regime change. Questionings and legal proceedings continued. In January and February 2016, Namal Rajapaksa, Yoshitha Rajapaksa and others were extensively questioned, arrested and remanded. In mid-2016, the FCID reported facts to the Colombo Magistrates Court stating that the relevant parties had failed to prove the legality of the funds used to purchase the Tangol Bay Hotel. Investigations continued through 2017 to 2019. In 2019, the FCID investigations concluded and the relevant investigation files were forwarded to the Attorney General for filing charges. Following the political changes in late 2019, the FCID was dissolved and the investigation was handed over to the Criminal Investigations Department, after which the investigation stalled. Now, this investigation process is underway once again.
Meanwhile, National People's Power parliamentarian Sanjeev Ranasinghe says some individuals have become alarmed over their potential fate, having realised the seriousness of the allegations against them.
Those who deserve punishment have been punished through the judicial process. Many of these cases were not even filed by us. However, we have accelerated the process. Indictments have already been filed against them. I believe those in the opposition have a sense, knowledge and understanding of the fate that awaits them through the judicial process. That is why I think even Namal Rajapaksa has an idea of what action will be taken against him in relation to the case involving CSN. By studying the law and observing the judicial proceedings, they know what fate awaits them in the end and what punishment they may face. I believe that is why they have also become so alarmed.
There is intense public discourse surrounding a letter sent by the Bar Association of Sri Lanka, which refers to alleged threatening statements made by the government in connection with an attempt to explain its opposition to the proposal to extend the retirement age of Supreme Court judges before all 225 members of Parliament. The correspondence came after an attempt by opposition leader Sajith Premadasa yesterday to summon representatives of the Bar Association before all 225 MPs to provide clarification on the matter ended unsuccessfully. Parliamentarian and Attorney-at-Law Bhagyashree Herat says the President of the Bar Association must clarify to the country what exactly the alleged threat referred to in the letter sent to the opposition leader yesterday was.
Yesterday,
the President of the Bar Association issued a letter to the opposition leader. The letter stated that there had been a threat or that a threat had been made and therefore that they would not be attending the meeting. Later, when questioned by the media, he again said that there was an issue concerning the wording and that it could have been a threat or something else. Subsequently, he stated again that it was indeed a threat. In other words, he's saying that an actual threat was made inside this parliament. I'm also a member of the Bar Association and he is my president. What was discussed in parliament was whether there was any provision to deliver a presentation to members of parliament or to summon MPs and have them gathered in one place to discuss a constitutional amendment. That was the matter under discussion. There was nothing threatening about it in any way. The President of the Bar Association has a great responsibility to inform society and the country about how this alleged threat was made and in what manner it was made and what words were used. It has now been 24 hours since this letter was sent. Furthermore, yesterday, an opposition MP launched a severe verbal attack, citing information she had gathered from a website. We would like to know the Bar Association's position on this kind of disrespect. Never before has a Chief Justice been subjected to this kind of insult inside this parliament.
Attorney-at-Law Gamini Nalla questioned the position of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka regarding the derogatory statements currently being made against the judiciary.
Neither I nor the Bar Association that I represent contributed to this situation. They have remained silent and have not said a word about all these statements which amount to the contempt of the judiciary. They have also remained silent about the particularly foolish statements being made both inside and outside Parliament, especially those targeting a Supreme Court judge, the Chief Justice. This is an extremely serious situation that has now emerged. If this situation continues to escalate, I believe what is happening will amount to one of the greatest acts of contempt against the judiciary. This has become a very serious matter. I see the contemptuous statements being made against the judiciary under the guise of parliamentary privileges as well as the attacks on judicial independence as two deadly blows. I believe this must be stopped without fail. By remaining silent and failing to respond to these attacks, I believe the Bar Association must also bear responsibility. As members of the Bar Association, we too must have the freedom to express our independent views. That independence has now been undermined. Therefore, I believe the government, the civil society and the public in particular must wake up to what is happening.
Minister of Health and Mass Media, Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa, yesterday commented on the letter issued by the Bar Association, alleging that the government had issued threats.
The leader of the opposition has no right to summon all members of parliament for any matter. He can summon his own group to the opposition leader's office, bring the president and secretary of the Bar Association and hold discussions like those being held now. There is no such tradition. That is what our leader of the house raised yesterday. The Bar Association has sent a response to that, addressed to the opposition leader Sajith Premadasa on the same day. The leader of the house made those points to the opposition leader. However, the Bar Association is presenting these points to the opposition leader as though there would be threats from the government. The letter says that the government would issue threats. So one question we have is, why is the president of the Bar Association taking up something that was said to Sajith Premadasa as his own issue? As they say, when someone is hit, why does someone else cry out in pain? It was said to Sajith Premadasa. Why is the Bar Association getting agitated? Secondly, the Bar Association has no right to say that it would be threatened in any manner. We had clarified the facts regarding the parliamentary traditions to opposition leader Sajith Premadasa. That is what the president of the Bar Association has signed, presenting it as a threat. Later, they said it was a mistake. Then later again, they said it was a threat. I don't know what it exactly is, but we don't know whether it was a threat or their act. But ultimately, from the letter we received, it appears that they are saying that a threat was made.
Today marks 7 years and 4 months since the Easter Sunday attacks. A media briefing was held today at the Centre for Society and Religion, calling for justice for the victims of the Easter attacks. Now, during the briefing, several civil society representatives expressed their views on the investigations into the Easter attacks and the situation that has emerged over the arrest of former State Intelligence Chief Suresh Saleh.
By studying the facts presented in the case before the fourth magistrate, we can understand how those behind this catastrophe planned it, contributed to it, directed those involved and attempted to carry out this disaster. We hope that if the officials within this mechanism provided their fullest cooperation, the facts and circumstances revealed through these investigations can be studied more deeply to uncover this network. If there are still people who are keeping this network alive, that is the most dangerous possibility.
Now for about a month and a half, we have seen a group coming out and demanding justice for Saleh. The records of those who have spread racism and religious extremism throughout the history of this country are contained in Presidential Commission reports. It was because of words and views expressed by these people that the Muslim youth were drawn towards extremism in this country. As a result, Zaharan and others were able to recruit these people into their cadres. Those very people are now standing alongside Saleh. Until that 14-page report was released last June, these people did not even have someone called Saleh appearing before the 4th Magistrates Court. But when the names of the Rajapaksas appeared in that report, that is when they began demanding justice for Saleh. Meanwhile, the case before the 3-member High Court is now in its final stages. The accused are presenting their defense statements, and we have seen some of the accused make serious statements during those submissions.
Chamira Pereira, the convener of the Left Centre, says that the people have given the present government a mandate to abolish the privileges owned by the elite.
To deliver justice to the victims of the brutal Easter Sunday attack, everyone connected to this incident, whoever they may be, must be punished. Therefore, this struggle has reached a very decisive moment. To take this struggle forward, the judicial system must be strengthened. What we need is a strong and firm process that can move forward decisively. Through that process, this journey must be brought to an end. There is no need to drag this out for months and months. However, we are prepared to fight, even if it takes an eternity.
Meanwhile, the People's Tomorrow organization said that the Bar Association should not become a political tool of politicians when intervening in matters concerning the 22nd Amendment.
I think the Bar Association needs to think a little more deeply. At a time when the political environment outside has left the opposition and anti-government groups without a clear slogan to rally around, those outside the campaign which the Bar Association is trying to pursue over the 22nd Amendment has now been taken over by certain opposition groups and other forces. Therefore, I think it would be better if the Bar Association continued the discussions the President had initiated. It is through such discussions that I believe the 22nd Amendment should be taken forward. There is clearly a political element here. As the Bar Association, we need to ensure that this political element is properly addressed. Otherwise, without realizing it, we too could become caught in a political trap just as Paddy was. Therefore, we must not fall into such a political trap. At all times, we believe that the Bar Association should not become a political tool of politicians. It is the responsibility of the Bar Association to protect the trust and confidence that has been placed in the institution.
An additional supplementary estimate of 7.5 billion rupees was approved by Parliament today to provide relief to farmers and ensure the continued purchase of paddy during this year's yellow season.
The additional allocation presented by Minister of Agriculture, Livestock, Lands and Irrigation K.D. Lanka is expected to facilitate the purchase of paddy from farmers at a fair price while helping maintain stable paddy prices in the market.
Cabinet Mandalaya පහුගිය රැස්වෙච්ච අවස්ථාවක
At a recent cabinet meeting, a decision was taken to provide loans through the Treasury to small and medium-scale rice mill owners to purchase paddy at a price that is fair to farmers or at the price announced by the government. We brought small-scale rice mill owners and medium-scale rice mill owners to the ministry and held 2 rounds of discussions with them. They had a request that they be allowed to participate in the paddy purchasing process, that is, in the process of purchasing paddy at the price announced by the government, and that, instead of obtaining funds from the bank, the government intervenes and provides them with a financial allocation for this purpose. Accordingly, we discussed this matter with the President. The small and medium-scale mill owners also participated in that discussion. Following those discussions, we decided to provide funds to small and medium-scale rice mill owners up to a maximum of 25 million rupees. The program will be implemented through the district secretaries and divisional secretaries. It is in order to secure the funds required for this program that the need has arisen to have this supplementary allocation approved. If small and medium-scale mill owners obtain this loan amount provided by the government, they are strictly required to purchase paddy at the government's guaranteed price. They have to repay the money. At certain times, they have agreed to repay it in the form of rice. At other times, they have agreed to repay it in the form of paddy. Under the program being implemented now, they have to purchase the paddy, process it into rice, sell the rice, and then return the money to the government. No interest will be charged on it. It is an interest-free loan.
I do not blame you for everything. If a good step is taken, I will call it a good step. Today, under our pressure, this interest-free loan program you are providing to micro, small and medium-scale mill owners is a good beginning. It is a good thing. A good thing should be called good. However, it is insufficient in terms of quantity. When the Paddy Marketing Board purchases only a small quantity, you need to provide greater strength than this to control the price. However, regarding the mill owners who are listed as defaulters and blacklisted, what you are doing is in fact a beginning. It is not the end. As the beginning, I am grateful. There is a price determined by the government. Everyone who uses government funds to purchase paddy must purchase it at that price. They are obligated to do so. Then they have to put up a banner there. After that, they have to purchase the paddy brought there at the relevant price. Therefore, at this moment, we are also making a request to the farming community. A large amount of money has been allocated at this time. Therefore, there is no requirement for you to take your paddy specifically to a government warehouse. You can also give your paddy to the private sector at the location closest to you. We remind the farming community at this moment to make use of that opportunity. Therefore, within the next few days, our mill owners, cooperatives and those engaged in purchasing paddy will be able to obtain these funds through the district secretaries.
Weather first.
It is now time to take a look at the weather update for the day.
Viara Virukon brings us the details. Viara.
Thank you, Therini and Martin. Now, the Department of Meteorology says sea areas extending from Kankazanture to Chilau via Mena and Matara to Potuville via Hambantota may become rough at times, as wind speeds are expected to increase to 50 to 60 kilometers per hour. The department further said that wave heights in the sea areas extending from Negombo to Potuville via Gaul and Matara could rise to between 2.5 and 3 meters. Accordingly, the Department of Meteorology has advised the fishing and naval communities to remain vigilant and exercise caution when engaging in activities in these sea areas.
Weather first.
All arrangements have been handed over yet another gum at the project to the public tomorrow.
Residents of several villages in the Beheragala, Himbiliyakada, Handungamuwa and Lediyangala areas have been facing severe hardships due to the absence of a bridge across the Atambeyala, which flows through the village of Goda Ulpota in Hettipola Vilgamuwa in the Matale district. Around 1,000 families live in these villages. Farming is the primary source of livelihood for most families in the area. Gammadda first became aware of the need for a bridge connecting Goda Ulpota and Himbiliyakada during its door-to-door campaign in 2023. Filling the long-standing void of a bridge, foundation stones were laid recently to construct a new bridge for the Goda Ulpota village. The project was funded by Speedmark Transportation Lanka Private Limited. For these villagers who have endured countless hardships crossing the Atambeyala, a new hope for the future will begin tomorrow. Gammadda, for the people, by the people.
The Indonesian Embassy in Colombo celebrated the 81st anniversary of the Independence Day of the Republic of Indonesia yesterday.
The Indonesian Embassy in Colombo marked the 81st anniversary of the Independence Day of the Republic of Indonesia yesterday with a National Day reception. The reception, hosted by Ambassador of Indonesia to Sri Lanka, Devi Gustina Tobing, at the Indonesian Embassy in Colombo, brought together distinguished guests and members of the diplomatic and political community to commemorate Indonesia's independence and celebrate the long-standing ties between Indonesia and Sri Lanka. Chief guest of the evening, Minister of Justice and National Integration, Attorney Harshana Nanayakara, spoke of the long-standing bond between Indonesia and Sri Lanka.
Unity in diversity reflects the strength and the beauty of our multicultural heritage. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Sri Lanka and Indonesia share a long history of friendship rooted in a common bond as countries across the Indian Ocean, and in the rich cultural, civilizational connections that we have brought our peoples close over many centuries. These enduring ties provide a strong foundation for the excellent relationship that exists between our two countries today. We greatly value Indonesia as a close and a trusted friend of Sri Lanka. Our shared commitment to peace, sovereignty, mutual respect, and cooperation has strengthened our partnership both bilaterally and through regional and international forums. We are happy to note that the total trade between our two countries has increased. I believe in 2024 from $490 million to $609 million in 2025. Sri Lanka now at a stage of economic recovery. Sri Lanka is seeking greater investment in renewable energy, logistics, transport, fisheries, pharmaceuticals, ICT and tourism. It's noteworthy that there is a significant number of Sri Lankan ventures in Indonesia, in apparel, plantations, ICT and tourism sectors. At present, Sri Lanka is deepening its engagement with the ASEAN with a view to becoming a sectoral dialogue partner of the ASEAN. This reflects our determination to build closer and deeper engagement with ASEAN member states. We greatly appreciate the assistance of Indonesia in this engagement.
Ambassador of Indonesia to Sri Lanka, Devi Kustina Tobing, highlighted the fields in which there were more opportunities for collaboration and strengthening of the diplomatic friendship between the two countries.
At the same time, Indonesia and Sri Lanka still have considerable untapped potential that can be developed into more concrete cooperation. Agriculture and also fisheries is areas where we see strong potential for closer cooperation. As countries where agriculture remains important to our economies, and also as countries that also have a maritime area in the country itself, that could strengthen through the exchange and experience, knowledge, technology support between the two countries. There is also considerable potential to expand cooperation between our two countries, including in public transportation, artificial intelligence and cybersecurity, stronger bilateral trade, investment and other economic areas of mutual interest and benefit. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the relationship between our two countries is not merely built by governments and business alone, but also by a strong foundation of friendship and understanding between our peoples.
The event further underscored the strong relations and continued cooperation between the two countries, with a series of cultural performances adding to the occasion.
The launch of the Women's Entrepreneurship Awards 2026, organised by the Women's Chamber of Industry and Commerce Sri Lanka, got underway in Colombo yesterday.
The Women's Chamber of Industry and Commerce officially launched the WCIC Pratibhabhishekha Women's Entrepreneurship Awards 2026 yesterday, marking the 5th edition of the prestigious awards program. The awards recognize women entrepreneurs who drive economic growth through innovation, leadership and perseverance, with applications open to women-led businesses across Sri Lanka and the SAARC region. Speaking at the launch, WCIC chairperson Ganeti Alvis said that the awards aim at recognizing, motivating and showcasing women entrepreneurs to highlight their vital economic contributions and encourage greater workforce participation.
We felt that women hugely contribute to our economy. We are 52% of the population. Although the female labor force participation in this country is very low, we felt their contribution must be recognized and they should be motivated so that they will be encouraged to contribute more. Although the entrepreneurship in our country is very small, percentage, single-digit number, our objective was to how can we encourage them, motivate them and showcase them, because they have done so much for this country, and through entrepreneurship how we can really showcase them.
The highlight of the program will be the Woman Entrepreneur of the Year 2026 award. Applications for the awards program will be accepted under startup, micro, small, medium and large-scale categories, alongside provincial and special recognition awards.
The 23rd edition of Pro Food, Pro Pack and AgBiz 2026 got underway in Colombo, bringing together key players from Sri Lanka's food processing, packaging and agricultural sectors.
The 23rd edition of Pro Food, Pro Pack and AgBiz 2026 began today at BMICH. The exhibition for food processing, packaging and agricultural sectors, which will be held until the 23rd of August, features around 450 exhibition stalls with significant participation from both local and international exhibitors.
The food processing industry is challenging faster than ever before. Technology is transforming. Consumers are demanding better quality, convenience and sustainability, food safety. Labeling and traceability are becoming increasingly important. while international markets demand higher standard and greater consistency. These changes create challenges, but they also create tremendous opportunities for Sri Lanka. We have agricultural resources, we have unique food products, we have knowledge, we have talented people, and most importantly, we have entrepreneurs who are willing to innovate. Our responsibility is to connect these strengths with the technology, innovation, quality, branding, international market opportunities.
As part of the exhibition, the Sri Lanka Food Processors Association has also launched Career Connect, an initiative aimed at connecting young talent with career opportunities in the food industry.
The Right to Information Commission has launched a new online platform aimed at making it easier for citizens to exercise their right to information. The digital system allows members of the public to submit RTI applications and appeals online without having to visit the Commission or rely on registered post.
A decade after Sri Lanka's Right to Information law came into force, the Commission is taking its services online. The Right to Information Commission says the move is part of its wider effort to modernize its services and improve access for the public. The new platform allows the citizens to submit RTI applications and appeals without travelling to the Commission or relying on registered post. The move comes amid efforts to improve the efficiency of the RTI process, with the Commission acknowledging staff shortages and a heavy workload as challenges in processing appeals on time. Officials say the digital system is expected to make the process more accessible and streamline the Commission's work. The event was attended by the chairman of the Right to Information Commission and several other stakeholders.
Up next is Corporate Brief.
People's Bank has stepped forward as the sponsor of the Sri Lanka Schools Basketball Tournaments 2026, supporting the development of young basketball talent across the country. A memorandum of understanding was signed between People's Bank and the Sri Lanka Schools Basketball Association in Colombo today. Under the initiative, People's Bank will sponsor under 13, under 15 and under 20 categories this year. The bank will also launch a dedicated communication program to promote basketball among school children and encourage greater participation in the sport. More than 120 schools are expected to take part in the championship.
Let's now take a look at international news.
Krishnan Devasagayam has the details. Krishnan.
Well, the Panama Canal is expected to limit traffic starting in early September as it prepares for lower water levels due to the El Niño weather phenomenon. The Panama Canal Authority told shipping firms that 32 vessels a day will be able to pass through it from the 15th of September compared to 36 which currently passes the canal.
The Panama Canal Authority says that from the 3rd of September, the number of vessels allowed through the Panama Canal each day will be reduced due to lack of rain with the current El Niño weather phenomenon. From 36 ships currently, the number will be lowered to 34 under the new measures. A further reduction will start on the 15th of September, limiting the ships to 32. Central America is in the throes of a severe drought driven by El Niño, a weather pattern that warms surface temperatures in the central and eastern equatorial Pacific Ocean, triggering worldwide changes in winds, atmospheric pressure and rainfall. The canal, which handles about 5% of global maritime trade, usually has capacity to accommodate about 40 vessels per day. Since June, it has seen a daily average of 35 transits. Panama Canal authorities have previously imposed vessel limits in order to conserve water. The canal relies on a lock system that lifts and lowers vessels as they travel from the Pacific Ocean to the Caribbean Sea and vice versa. But the canal is fed in part by fresh water from nearby lakes and reservoirs, most notably Gatun Lake. Panamanians rely on that lake as well as to supply drinking water to nearby cities, including the capital Panama City, putting additional strain on the waterway during times of drought. Any significant decrease in travel through the canal is likely to translate into slower international shipping for industries that rely on the waterway. That, in turn, could increase costs.
Let's now take a look at your sports news for the day.
Viera has the details.
Thank you once again. The Commandant's Cup Sailing Regatta 2026, organized by the Sri Lanka Navy, continued for its second day today in the Sea of Sri Lanka off the coast of Trinco. The Maharaja Media Network serves as the official media sponsor of the championship. Newsfirst Budmin Amaradivakara brings us the details from Trinco.
Behind me is the Sea of Sri Lanka here in the beautiful eastern coast here in Trincomalee at the Dutch Bay, and today is day number 2 and we just witnessed the end of all the events that is supposed to have been taken place today, and we saw a lot of competitiveness with a lot of international competitors and also Sri Lankans competing here in day number 2 at the International Sailing Regatta.
The Commandant's Cup Sailing Regatta 2026, organised by the Naval and Maritime Academy of the Sri Lanka Navy, is being held in the Sea of Sri Lanka this year for the 6th time. Sailors from Bangladesh, Italy, China, India, Indonesia and Sri Lanka are taking part in the competition.
Day number 1 and in day number 2, we saw a lot of grit, determination, passion here in the waters of the Sea of Sri Lanka in Trincomalee, and tomorrow will be an action-packed Saturday, and we invite all of you as well. If you're around Trincomalee in Sri Lanka, we invite all of you to come and enjoy and see the energy, the determination here in the eastern coast of Sri Lanka at the Dutch Bay in Trincomalee. Reporting to you from the Dutch Bay here in Trincomalee, I am Budmin Amaradivakara for Newsfirst.
From that, we bring to a close this edition of Prime Time News on TV1.
Thank you for joining us.
Good night.
night.